As this week is practically about Marie finding out that Arlo is a bit of a wrought bloke, and not really much else has happened with updates with Grace and Rex, and some awful gaslighting from Rex towards Steve, allowing him to think his mental health is relapsing. The only thing I'm here to talk about today is my favourite little stalker boy, Tommy Odenkirk. I love him so much. I don't know why. Every now and then you get a soap character that you just feel bad for, and even if they're doing some pretty dodgy things, and they have done dodgy things, you're just kind of like, yeah, but I just love you, Tommy. It's alright, Tommy, I'd save you from your brother. There's also, I just don't really have much else to talk about with Hollyoaks this week. Like, it was a good week, all in all, pretty enjoyable. Quite light on the progression. We just now know that Sienna was poisoned by Martha, and not showing signs of MND, which was her way of making sure she couldn't go on holiday with Cleo. Fair enough. I say fair enough. It's not fair enough. Don't you dare come near my Sienna. But yeah, so Tommy is a little bit. He just gets some weird interactions with Joel, where he smashes Joel's wing mirror on his bicycle, and then is sat there with a note on the car waiting for Joel to read it. Joel, now that I've got you, I'll give you the money. Just come over to my place tomorrow and I'll give you the 100 quid easy. All right, a bit weird. And then Joel doesn't come, so he gets a bit clingy. He's like, well, if you can't do it, you best it has to be done right. You better just do it yourself. So he heads over to the Lomaxes. He's like, Joel, you want therapy? I'm free today. Free therapy. And he goes over, he gives him the money. Joel fixes his smoke alarm. And then they talk about Leela, and they talk about his struggles, and they talk about his and Leela's relationship. And Tommy's just kind of like, but Joel, they just don't understand you. They just don't understand you like I do, Joel. He spots the chicken shop. Spots the chicken shop out uniform. Doesn't really comment on it. And yeah, this kind of pits Leela and Joel at odds, because Leela is she doesn't really care. She doesn't really hold off Joel's feelings, worrying. Like, she knows that Arlo is bullying Ro at the end of the day. She knows that Arlo is bullying Ro. So and Joel obviously seeing Arlo like the kid and like Abe before him, how, broken home spawns broken children. Or at least that's probably what he's thinking. That's not my word. But he's probably thinking, he's had a lot of upheaval. He was, and now he's getting beaten up like I was by Mick. So obviously he's fully on Arlo's side. This while Marie slowly figures out that, yes, Arlo is a bully and he's a prick and he's exactly like Abe, if not slightly worse. Well, not quite yet, but, the signs are there. The signs of him being a abusive piece of shit are already there, and if they're there at a young age, not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. And so Leela and Joel are at odds. As I said before, Leela thinks Arlo is guilty and Joel thinks Arlo is being abused. So they kind of go at odds. They mention Tommy. Tommy says he thinks I'm right. And Leela's like, really? The cheek of him. He tried to kiss me. And this sets Joel off, like, you're taking liberties on a vulnerable person. You're taking liberties with my wife. And this results in a pretty big, payoff. Jez is talking to Tommy and is getting advice about Sienna possibly having MND. Excuse me. And worried, Joel busts in and says, we need to talk about this. And then in a little confrontation, Tommy has not locked his little shrine to Joel. The door opens and Joel is like, what the fuck is this? And then Tommy goes, I thought you would have known. I thought you would have remembered. And he goes, you're my hero. You're my hero. I've been alone all my life. And all I had was was figures and stuff to really get away from it. And he goes, yeah, and my brother, like, you changed my life that day when what you did. And he's like, I don't understand. I don't remember. That's fine. And Tommy takes him to the hospital and he says, my brother's been in a coma for a year and you put him there. Like, oh, shit. And, you know, the casting for the brothers, they look remarkably similar. Tommy does fit the bill of a little brother. I can't lie. But yeah, and obviously this is setting up for the flashback episode, which is next week, where we're going to see Warren Fox return to our screens once again, which is going to be cool. It's nice that he's come back, but honestly, I'm kind of not surprised he's back because I've not heard of any, like, Jamie Lomas news since he left. Like, I don't know what he's been doing ever since, but I've not seen him get any new roles. I've not seen anything. I have not seen any news. He's not done any of the, like, reality TV show stints. It seems like he's just been having a family, so fair enough. But it is nice that they were very quickly able to bring him back. You do hope that he will be able to... simply... just... You know, if they can bring back Warren, they can probably bring back Cindy. They can probably bring back a bunch of characters. And it's always going to be a hard one to sell because obviously it was a lot of cost-cutting measures and you did have to, like, either cut or accommodate people leaving. But with him being so willing to return just a year on for, like, a one-off flashback episode, it's a cool thing. And I think it's a thing that they should do more than they have. They really should be exploring what happened in the year that we've never seen, because it's such an interesting piece of info that we don't, obviously they didn't plan out the whole year. We just knew ideas of what would have happened. But, like, it's such a, you can't do it in 3 years' time. You can't go, oh, here's what happened in the year that changed. This is the time to do, here's what changed in the year that you didn't see us. You can't just go back at a different point in time and be like, bloody hell. Like, you have to do it you have to strike whilst the iron's hot. And it's really going to be hard to readdress this because the lost year of Hollyoaks, it's so bountiful, so juicy. We want to know what happened. We want to see more of the characters who are no longer on our screens. We want to see exactly what happened. And if they don't do it soon enough, we're just not going to see any of it. And it's also an excuse to kind of try mend fences and rebuild relations with a bunch of possibly scorned ex-Hollyoaks people. We really want to see what happened in that year off that we didn't see due to the time jump. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I look forward to this flashback episode. It's going to be nice to see Warren back on our screens once again. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. And tell me what other stuff you want Hollyoaks-wise, because it's kind of... I have just kind of settled back down to doing the one video a week, which may not be a lot for the Hollyoaks people, but it is still a very bite-sized version in comparison. And most weeks I barely have anything to say about Coronation Street. So, yeah. Also, hay fever's kicking in, so if I've suddenly become a bit more nasally, blame that. But yeah, good week of Hollyoaks though. Quite uneventful. but still very enjoyable. Hollyoaks is still the number 2 soap for me, and I have really enjoyed a lot of it. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.